And of course, people ask me about motivation and how to be motivated, and tell us, and discipline and waking up at 4 a.m. and I don't know, time management and having the will, make a goal, achieve, make an action plan. All these things come into that motivation bucket. And yet, a lot of people are not able to achieve what they set out to achieve. A lot of people don't, they have the right intention. They come and attend my talk, they watch other motivational videos, they read motivational books, quotes, they make motivational posts themselves sometimes, and yet they're not able to get that jump in that career. They're not able to open that business. They're not able to lose that weight. They are not able to improve their relationships, be in a different city. Whatever their dreams were, it just doesn't happen. And then they feel bad about themselves. So I thought, what can I tell you? What is my diagnosis of why that doesn't happen? And it's not that the lack of knowledge. You know, if you want to lose weight, you know, two things. Eat less, move more. End of the dieting fitness industry. Like, really. So you know, you want to get better results? One thing, study more. Simple, right? So the knowledge is there. So why it doesn't happen? Is everybody lazy? No, not really. I'm going to tell you about something you may not have thought of. What I have found after interacting with hundreds of thousands of people, because now virtually also on YouTube, most people don't live for themselves. And today's talk really, if I can call it that, is live for yourself. It's going up in the TEDx channel. If it was Hindi, I would say apne liye jiyo. Because most people don't live for themselves. They say they want it, they share these dreams with me. They come and say, I want to get this, yes. But they're not living for themselves. And India especially. All over the world, it's the case. But Indians especially are brought up like that, right? We are all about community, dunyadari, family, neighbors, colleagues, friends, things like that. People don't live for themselves. What does that mean? Someone will say, what do you mean I don't live for myself? You mean like we are all like Mother Teresa, living for others? And most of us are not Mother Teresa or Kailash Satyarthi. We are not those people. That's not what I mean by living for others and not living for yourself. That they are doing something completely noble and very different. That's not. Most people, when I say they don't live for themselves, what I mean is, whenever they want to do something, it's often guided by, without them even knowing it, without the other people also knowing it, it's guided by, what will they think? What will my wife think? What will my husband think? What will my children think? What will my parents think? What will my friends think? What will the people who follow me on Instagram think? What will my college mates think? What will my work colleagues think? Everybody but yourself. We all do this. And therefore, a lot of our life decisions, big decisions in life, are not our own decisions. We are not living for ourselves. And I'm saying this because of personal experience. I'm not saying this like, I know this. Listen to me. No. I am the biggest idiot out here. I did not live for myself. For 45 years of my life, I'm 48 now. So maybe like for the last 2-3 years, maybe because of the pandemic, something woke up in me and I started living for myself. And I will tell you how. And maybe that will illustrate the concept to you. Because this is still a theoretical framework. So I'm this writer, right? People introduce me, he left banking, he wrote books, he's done his thing, man. Chetan lives for himself. How many people do this? Quit their job and live for themselves. So Chetan has done it. He's the example. That's why we should call him as speaker. But I can tell you one thing. I was still not living for myself. And I'll tell you why. So I was working in banking, and that's my story, that I quit and I started writing books. That's what everybody knows. And then, the books did well and everything. But there is more to the story. And more to the story is this. It wasn't an easy decision for me to leave my job at that time, because I was in something called investment banking, which is like a charity, No, it's not. It's just a job that pays a lot of money. It is so much money that you're like, really? I did this work? I was getting paid a lot. And then I quit. Why? Because I loved writing. I wanted to live for myself. I wanted to follow my passion. This was my dream. I did it. It was a 1 or 2 year struggle to decide, but I did it. But then what happened? So, I'm from IIT, all my friends are my batchmates, right? And I quit. And of course, your friends don't change immediately, right? So I would go to parties and all. And one day, one of my friends asked me, okay, so you left banking and now you do books. How much money do you make? It was just a passing comment. I don't even think he thought that I'm living for him. And then he moved on and added scotch to his drink and moved to the next guy and asked him how much money he made. I don't know. But to me, it hit me. It hit me. I said, okay, so I might have quit. I might have done this brave thing. But all these people in this party, they think I'm not good enough because I don't make as much money as them now. Maybe they were thinking that. Maybe they were thinking on when is the food going to be served. But in my head, they're all thinking that I'm going to make money any way possible. So I said, okay, I'm going to start making money. So I tried many different ways to make money. I wrote columns, I wrote books, of course, all that. And I also started giving motivation talks. That's how I became a motivation speaker. I started charging for it. And invitations started coming. And I kept doing more and more and more and more. At one point, I was doing 70 to 80 events a year. Pre-pandemic, in 2019, I took 130 flights. Now, 365 days are there in a year. So 130 flights means more than 2-3 a week. I used to live in airports. I knew everybody. All the security guys. Arey, Mr. Bhagat, you're back? Where today? Okay. All the flight attendants knew me. I knew the flight schedules better than pilots. And I was doing it. And I started making money. And I made money and made money and made money. And I went to the next party of bankers, but he never asked me that day. I was like, that's not fair. And then I did that year after year after year. I started making money and I would feel happy. Nowadays you can see the bank balance in a phone app. And what changes is like a video game. Like pinball, right? You see, oh, more money than last year. And then we feel good. It's not like I'm eating that money. I can't taste it. I can't even smell it. It's number. I feel good. Yeah. And then when the next party comes, I will tell him, but he never asked. But what happened as a consequence of taking 130 flights? 130 flights, 70 events means 70 different hotel rooms, 70 different beds. Your sleep will get affected. If you take so many flights, you will have so many security checks, delays. You remember sitting in the bus, sometimes the bus doesn't move, flight doesn't take off, fog. I have every plane story for you. I have a plane story where there were mosquitoes on the plane. Plane is full of mosquitoes. What do you do then? Can you take off? How do you get the mosquitoes out? Do you put like mosquito coil? So it was crazy. And my sleep was affected. If you stay in 70 different places, all over India, sometimes abroad, you don't get proper food timings. So you are eating anything, you're sleeping anything. I gained weight. I became what used to be called, and nowadays you're not allowed to say it, fat. You can't say it now. New generation doesn't like it. Right? But I was dash fat. I can't say the dash, it's TEDx. Okay? I was full fat, man. I did a medical checkup. My God, my cholesterol. You could make butter out of it. I started losing hair. If you see my earlier pictures, if you Google it, you'll see me like a ball. I thought I'm losing all my hair. It's gone. You know? I kind of said, okay, guys lose their hair, guys get fat. That's what being in your 40s is all about. That's what it is all about. So what's the big deal? I would wake up 5 times a night. Sometimes to use the bathroom. I was going to doctors. They gave me some medicine. Doctors love giving medicine. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you do need it. But imagine if nobody needed medicine, what would doctors do? So please keep falling sick. You loved it. No. So, and I was like, okay, this is what 40s is all about, and this one, right? And guess what? When you are having all this, I was not happy. I was miserable. But in social media, in the media, in public faces, Chetanji introduced bouquets, trophies. And I'm like, they're wondering, what is this? Okay, this is what life is all about. All because of that batchmate. All because of that batchmate. Who didn't even care finally. I hope he listens to this talk. And then the pandemic happened, and this is just one example, and several things I was doing, but I was not living for myself. I'm living for someone else who doesn't even know it. And so we all live for somebody else. We all live for validation, approval, okay from others. What will Sharma auntie think? What will Gupta uncle think? They don't think anything. Nowadays, everybody is lost in their phones. Who has time to think? What is thinking? Just open Instagram Reels. You don't have to think. Why do we need to think anymore? Every minute you have, you can just spend it on the phone. So, but in my head, this is what was happening. And then I said, this is wrong. When I was not sleeping properly, my health was suffering, everything was going down, down, down. And I was like, this is bad. I can't do this. So I changed. I started running when the pandemic happened. I became a runner at 46. I opened YouTube because I like motivating people. Didn't make any money, but I loved it. Because, you couldn't travel in the pandemic anywhere, and I could just sit and make those videos. And it took off. It's doing very well. Right now we are 1.5 million views a month. It's pretty good. But it's not about the 1.5 million. It's not about the number of subs. It's not about the revenue. If someone asks me at the party, it's fine. If that guy asks me today, how much money you make, even though I make it, I will tell him it's not about the money, dude. I have the ability to be on stage and motivate people and change people's lives. I get to feel something you will never feel in your life. And you can never equate with money. And that is what living for myself is. Living for myself means sometimes saying no to things. Living for yourself means sometimes saying no to people you love. Your family, saying no. I love my kids a lot. But people go crazy after their kids. And then they watch movies like Bagban later and they say, this is what happens. I love my kids, but I love myself too. So Bagban should not happen to me because Dad is Bagban proof. But I love them. And so it is often about doing things which may disappoint people around you. But you protect yourself. When I tell you, supposing I tell young people here, I say, you're coming to Bombay, we are working on a new project for 6 months, you come. You'll say, exciting, yes, you want to do it, but you'll first think, okay, what will my mom say? What will my dad say? What will my spouse say? What are the people I'm living with going to say? The first thought that comes to your head. So this is not a conscious thing that Chetan said this, so I'll follow. What is the first thought that comes? Is it about yourself or others? And you really start living for yourself when the first thought that comes, we're doing this, yeah, I want to do it. The day that happens, that day you're living for yourself. And if you don't live for yourself, you can keep making dreams and say, I need motivation, sir. Tell me, how do I get motivated to achieve this dream, that dream, that dream? But you will not live for yourself. You feel guilty, you feel ashamed, you feel like shy. It's hard for people, it's painful. Because people will call you selfish. You're not being selfish. Selfish is you only care for yourself. This is self-preservation. Else you will die. I'm telling you, you will die. You will not only be miserable or unhappy, you will die if you don't live for yourself. Right? Selfish means not caring for other people at all. What I'm telling you is care for yourself first. And then care for others. I care a lot for the people around me. The people, my family, my friend, they're my tribe. I'll do anything for them. But me first. That's what I've learned. And this simple thing, if you just start implementing in your life, keep changing little decisions. Whether you're going out with friends, you want to go or not, if you start implementing, initially some people may say, what happened to him? But they will get used to it. And then you will be happier. And you know what happens to happy people? Be surprised that you thought you will do this and people will run away. They'll in fact come running to you. So try this strategy. Try to live for yourself. Because as they say in flights, first put your own oxygen mask, then help others. Why do they say that? Because if you are not happy, can you make other people happy? You cannot. So tell yourself, everything else will follow. Then you go on your diet, go on your career mission, whatever. But from today, I will live for myself. Thank you.